Greetings to all the beloved across the world and glad tidings. What you're about to watch is concerning the real truth about how you can basically pay off your mortgage, pay off your car note, and do all of that just by filing some paperwork. Now, this is taught in a different format and by the Moorish Science Temple, the sovereign the Moorish nation. But they do it in a different way, and they do it in a more aggressive manner that usually doesn't work out too well. And they usually use these tactics in court when someone is in trouble, like in criminal trouble, when, as you will see, it's all about money and taxes and contracts that are not between you, the person, it's between the government and the corporation they opened in your name, because within 7 years of your birth, your mother didn't go and claim that you were a live being, and that you were living and not lost at sea. That's the Social Security number. That has to do with the cess of QV Trust, going back to 1666, actually. But it goes back to 1933, when they changed over. Basically, legal tender, any money used in the United States was backed by gold. Now, when they stopped that, they made an arrangement, a deal. The deal was, we're taking your gold, but in exchange, we would discharge all of your debt and any future debt. Okay? That's why they say, that you're owed your birth weight in gold and this and that. That was all real things. It was all real things. But today you're actually owed more than that, because of the debt that is accumulated and accrued to the country, and they're using you as collateral. And people know of this, but they don't really understand it. And even after watching this, you still might be confused. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'll put the whole clip up on my YouTube page. Make sure you go subscribe to that, Chief Ironbush on YouTube. I'll put the whole video up. But it's a little hard to hear, a little grainy. But if this is something you're interested in, listen up, because this right here is the real deal.
Okay, we're going to go back to the original issue discount. And I'm going to go over where all this stems from. This all stems from HJR 192. And here's the phrase: shall be discharged upon payment dollar for dollar in any coin of currency which at the time of payment is legal tender for all public and private debts. What was legal tender for all debts, public and private, in 1933? Gold was. The government confiscated all your gold. They sent it to China, so they had to give you, that was payment for discharge upon presentment. They discharged all of your debt. Future. This is future. You can't take somebody's money away and not give them compensation. So they compensated you by prepaying all of your debt, dollar for dollar. This has been going.
Prepaying all of your debt, dollar for dollar. And anytime you sign anything, your signature, they have used, it doesn't matter if you sign for something at the pharmacy. The pharmacy just used your corporation as credit. So they're double dipping. Not only are they using you, the livestock, that's on this actual stock market being traded for millions of dollars. Not only did they get paid up front the full amount. Let's say you pick a medication up from Walgreens. That medication is worth, they say it's worth $500, but you pay $18. They get paid $500 up front from the debt that is already paid off. They've dipped into it because they know how to do it at the top. They have advanced tax people, not the tax people doing your taxes. They've been trained to only know how to do your taxes on a poor man's level. Okay? Even somebody, if you've been dealing with the same tax person for 10 years and you think you're getting back big tax returns, $10,000 tax return, when really you should be getting your mortgage paid off. You should be getting your car note paid off. You should be getting anything that was dipped into your account. You should be getting all of that back. Now listen how you can do that.
Going on since 1933, and nobody understands it because they keep trying to pay debts that are prepaid because people don't understand the old.
You keep trying to pay debts that are prepaid because nobody understands it.
The process. So I'm going to go over this, and I keep going over this because this is at the crux of everybody's problem. I don't care if you're in a criminal case, you're in a civil case, it's a tax case. And if you don't understand what a tax is, you don't understand what's going on. Everybody I talk to says, oh yeah, I understand what a tax is. And I start asking them questions and they can't answer. That means they don't understand what taxes are. It's not a tax until you do an assessment. You have to assess the tax. Why do you have to assess the tax? Because you own the credit that the government uses. You are the owner of the credit. You are the creditor in fact. That's why the government, every time they use your credit, has to give you an OID identifying you as the payor and themselves as the recipient of the funds.
So you are the creditor and the recipient of the funds. But they intervene and take it because you don't do an assessment, because you don't know what that really truly is. You don't even know what paperwork to do that on. And they do the assessment and they claim the debt. They claim the funds, the debt that the debt that's already paid in the future, like he said. They inherit it because they claim it. Listen.
Everybody understand that? You can't get much simpler than that. Go read the OID. Go read the OID. Publication.
It takes 3 years for them to actually claim it. You have 3 years to do the proper paperwork, to do the assessment, and to contact the Treasury. It's 3 or 4 different papers you have to do. He's going to say it on here. So that's why everyone thinks 7 years and something's off your credit. No, it's not. It's 10. It's 10 because they claim the debt 3 years later after you don't do an assessment. You don't claim the credit that was already paid for in advance that they took from you, from your trust, your bond, from your corporation that's being traded for millions that you actually own. They're just trading in your corporation. They've become shareholders of the corporation that is your name. But you own it. But you're not doing any pay. It's like an owner of a corporation that has went on a vacation and just never came back. They don't know if you did, but you're lost at sea. Therefore, they're claiming all your property and all the tradings and all the credit that the corporation is accruing.
Go read publication 1212. I haven't met one person in the patriot community that's ever read publication
IRS publication 1212.
I'm going to take you in there and explain it to you so that everybody can understand it. You got to understand that your law, everybody's looking for a remedy. You can't get a remedy until you understand what's going on.
That's right.
That's why God invented me. I'm going to explain to you. I've been studying this stuff for 50 years. And I'm going to prove to you right now what's going on. And then I'm going to document it.
My man said that's why God sent me. I heard that. He said he's been doing this for 50 years.
We're going to go down to page 6. Go to page 6. Nobody has read this publication. Nobody. N-O-B-O-D-Y. Nobody reads this publication. This tells you what is going on. There's one paragraph in this document that gives you the whole key to the whole redemption process. And I'm going to show you what it is. And nobody knows this even exists. Go down to the bottom of page 6. Go down to the bottom. Here it is. Okay. Download publication 1212 off the IRS website.
It said download publication 1212 off the IRS website.
Along with me, and you'll learn what's going on. Nominee. This is what's going on. What are they doing? They're doing a nominee for the true owner, which is you. If you are the holder of an OID, original issue discount debt instrument, and you receive
original issue discount debt instrument, OID. This is how they are doing this, through something called an OID.
a Form 1099 OID that shows your taxpayer identification ID, original going on. What are they doing? They're doing a nominee for the true owner, which is you. If you are the holder of an OID, original issue discount debt instrument, and you receive a Form 1099 OID that shows your taxpayer identification number and includes amounts belonging to another person, you are considered a nominee. Well, what are those amounts belonging to another person? That's the amount of the bills that all of these corporations are sending you every month.
Boom. That means every bill that you are paying, car note, mortgage, rent to a condo that's owned by a real estate company or some kind of property company, that, you know, apartment complex, car note, pay here, buy here, car lot, electric company, they're all corporations. All of them bills, they are already getting from you. Okay, that is who you can get all of that money back
for the use of your credit, and they're reporting it on a tax statement.
They are reporting it, not you. They're reporting it on a tax statement because they have top trained taxation lawyers that know this.
They're using your credit. And they're doing it as a nominee for you because they're using your credit. You must file another Form 1099 OID for each actual owner. You are the owner. You are the payor on the 1099 OID because they're
so you have to file a 1099 OID for each and every one. Each thing you're paying every month, you got to file 1099 OID for every one, separate.
Your credit, and they send you a bill to notice you that that's the amount of your credit that they are using.
Man, that is diabolical. The bill they're sending you is actually, because you don't understand Black's Law Dictionary, and that's the wordage that they're using. You think that it says you owe this and that and this and that, this and that, but they're really telling you by a different language that's in the Black's Law Dictionary that they have accessed your credit and this is the amount that they have taken. Are you willing to pay this to them though? See? And they can shut it off because you're not claiming the credit. They claimed it, so they can shut your electric off.
Now, that doesn't become a tax until you assess it.
You have to assess.
The way that you assess it is you have to file a 1040 tax form and a 1099 OID and a 1096 and a 1040B.
I'm going to run that back.
A 1040 tax form. A tax until you assess it. And the way that you assess it is you have to file a 1040 tax form.
1040 tax form for each one.
And a 1099 OID.
1099 OID for each one.
And a 1096. And a 1040B. And you do it. Pay to the order of. Who do you pay it to? You pay it to the U.S. Department of Treasury. Why? Because the U.S. Department of Treasury is handling the bookkeeping. And unless you report it as a return or a tax, they can't do the bookkeeping on it.
Exactly. And that's when it goes unclaimed and they swoop in because they're dealing with you and you've signed a contract with them, with your corporation. Not you, the living entity. Your corporation. Because a living entity can only give an autograph, not a signature. So anything that's asked for your signature is a dead entity. Okay? So you really need to know this, folks. Some of you that are highly spiritual and, floating around in the fifth dimension somewhere, you might be totally above this and could care less. But some of you that still have, half of your life ahead of you, you might want to actually look into this and give it a try. It could change your entire life and your children and your grandchildren. It might put you in a position to leave a house or inheritance or property to your children's children.
That's why the Treasury's books are all screwed up. Their payables and their receivables are out of balance. Payables are what they owe to you, and they can't pay you because you haven't filed the proper paperwork to get the refund on the credit that you're giving away to everybody.
Boom. Woo!
Can't get much simpler than that.
So after 3 years, somebody else comes in and grabs that.
Yeah, so what they're doing...
After 3 years, somebody else grabs it.
It's abandoned property because you never claimed it.
It's abandoned property because you didn't claim it within 3 years of the contract. Electric companies, electric bills, car notes, this and that. You have up to 3 years to get all that back and get your car note paid in full, your mortgage paid in full, all of it. But you can't. You have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You can't be calling these people up and saying, yeah, I got this, I got that, and I'm finna do this and do that. They're going to let their attorneys know, and they're going to try to do whatever they can to block you. You have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, and move in silence.
They do it. They do this nominee. They do it in your name. And they use your taxpayer identification number. And they do a 1099-A showing it as abandoned property.
And you give them consent because you signed for it and you do your taxes. With a 1040 easy, that's you giving them consent to you're just claiming this itty bitty amount that they tax you on your wages. And that's all you're claiming when really you have all your debt has been paid in advance in the future, stemming from 1933 when they took the gold from everybody. That's what it is. Because guess what? There's still people that are alive that were born in 1933. Okay? So this still applies to this day.
Because you never claimed it. It's like taking a suitcase full of $100,000 bills and throwing it down on the sidewalk. Whoever claims it owns it. If you think this isn't what's going on, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. This is exactly what you're doing.